This is the 2020 Corolla Sedan, and it arrived 16 months after the hatch before it. Like that new generation model, this new one features more tech, more safety equipment, and for the first time in the sedan, it's available in a hybrid model. So what is the new Corolla Sedan like? Let's take a look and find out. Where the last few generations of Corolla Sedan have looked different compared to their hatch counterparts, this new 12th generation model brings the two body styles back in line again. Everything from the B-pillar forward is the same, apart from the bumper. And towards the rear of the car, the sedan gets its own rear doors and, of course, a longer boot. The changes mean the new Corolla Sedan addresses some of the shortcomings of the hatch when it comes to rear accommodation. In four-door guise, the Corolla is a substantial 255mm longer than the hatch and even grows 10mm compared to the outgoing sedan. The wheelbase of the sedan measures 60mm longer than the hatch and lines up with the outgoing model. As a result, there's more leg room, it's easier to get in and out of, with much more space to settle comfortably. Perhaps best of all, the boot hasn't changed compared to the old sedan, remaining at 470 litres. That's compared to a paltry 217 litres in some versions of the hatch. By far, the biggest change to the new sedan is the addition of a hybrid powertrain. Like the hatch before it, plus the Camry and the RAV4, the new Corolla Sedan adds accessible fuel-saving tech in a first for the four-door Corolla in Australia. If you opt for petrol power, there's a 2-litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine under the bonnet that churns out 125 kilowatts and 200 newton meters. Should you prefer the hybrid, you'll get a 1.8-litre engine good for a combined petrol and electric output of 90 kilowatts, but a less enticing 142 newton meters. The model range for the new sedan lines up with the hatch, meaning the entry level wears an Ascent Sport name tag and can be ordered as a manual or CVT automatic with a petrol engine, or in hybrid CVT form. From there up, the range switches to auto only. The mid-grade SX model retains petrol or hybrid options, with the flagship ZR in petrol only, unlike the hatch. Prices have risen for the new model. Before on-road costs, the Ascent Sport starts from $23,335 with the manual, $24,835 with the CVT, or $26,335 for the cheapest hybrid. Of course, to offset the difference, Toyota has loaded up equipment levels, especially safety kit. Standard features now include 7 airbags, Toyota Safety Sense, with autonomous emergency braking, including pedestrian and cyclist detection, road sign assist, active cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic high beam headlights. In the cabin, all models come with an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that includes Bluetooth, AM/FM radio, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, and 6 speakers. You can option sat-nav and digital radio on the base model, or they come standard on SX and ZR, with the flagship also gaining wireless phone charging. Audio in the ZR comes courtesy of an upgraded 9-speaker JBL sound system. The biggest visual changes outside comes with the rolling stock. Hybrid models ride on 15-inch alloy wheels wearing aero-optimised covers. Lower-grade petrol cars get 16-inch alloys in a multi-spoke design different to the hatch, while the ZR wears the hatch's 18-inch alloys, plus gets more chrome outside. Other ZR goodies include partial leather-look seats with front seat heating and electric adjustment for the driver, as well as a colour head-up display. Because the new Corolla Sedan shares its underpinnings with the hatch, it benefits from the same range of improvements. Toyota's TNGA architecture for the Corolla and for the Prius and for the CHR means much better handling than Corollas of past, shunning the white goods on wheels label. You get comfortable driving dynamics, and while it's not a hot hatch or a hot sedan as the case may be, it's actually still an enjoyable thing to take to the road to. The steering is direct, it rides pretty well. Toyota has a bunch of claims about a lower centre of gravity, and I doubt that your average consumer is going to feel that. It still works though. There's a really nice balance and everything comes together pretty well in the new Corolla. Out on the open road, the Corolla is, well, comfortable, middle of the road fare. You get reasonably quiet cruising. If you pick the ZR, it rides on 18-inch wheels. Therefore, it's not as comfortable over imperfections, and there is a little bit more tyre and road noise. Other than that, the hybrid models, like this one here that we're in now, feature 15-inch wheels. They have a much chubbier sidewall, and they do a better job of absorbing everything else in between. Then there's the handling. It's a McPherson strut suspension up front and a fully independent multi-link rear suspension setup. It's new in the rear for the new generation car, and at the front it is what's known as a modified geometry for the McPherson Link. Ride is pretty good. Road holding is pretty good. And whilst manufacturers like Mazda have come under fire for getting rid of an independent rear suspension and reverting to a cheaper and less sophisticated multi-link rear end, the reality is, in most driving, you're going to be hard-pressed to tell the difference. It does, however, give Toyota the option down the track of, say, introducing a hotter or at least warmer model of the Corolla, which probably is going to come down the track, although we haven't seen any word of it yet. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it does give Toyota some bragging rights, but realistically, on the open road, out in the country like we are now, it's perfectly adept and the road holding is fine. If you're in town, in the city, you might pick a hair's breadth of difference between something with an independent rear and something without, on cobblestones, rough surfaces, things like that. Throw this thing over speed humps and over rough roads, and there's very little chance that you'll have anything to complain about. It's actually pretty impressive. So when you bundle all that together with the hybrid engine and its ability to run silently, and it'll even do that up to 100 k's an hour, good wind and noise insulation, and I would really stick with one of the variants on the smaller wheels, particularly if you did a lot of high-speed country miles. The Corolla shapes up as a pretty convincing package. And over the hatch, with its smaller rear seat and I guess fairly tiny boot, the sedan really puts itself forward as the more practical and perhaps more family flexible option. Let us know what you think of the new Corolla Sedan in the comments. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and check out caradvice.com for more details and the full review.